And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rants alongside Tommy Krysan, TK at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, right in the heart of Baton Rouge, over by Parkview Baptist off Airline High School. I'm coming to you from the Baton Rouge Rougarou summer camp. We got a 2-day camp over at Denham Springs High School. I snuck away from the beautiful all-turf facility at Denham Springs High to jump in the truck to do a little Sports Shorts Daily. Blaine Spencer and the staff and the whole Rougarou team's out on the field right now working with 50 campers. It's a great event. Special thanks to Raising Cane's and Gordon McKernan, the sponsor of it. We fed Raising Cane's yesterday and today to the campers. They were pumped. But anyway, today we're presented by Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and LeBear's Casino, where last night I had some friends went over to the Barstool Sportsbook at LeBear's, watched the LSU 5-0 win over Tennessee. They had a big crowd. They'll have another big crowd tonight at 6 o'clock as the Tigers take on Wake Forest at LeBear's at the Barstool Sportsbook. And Tommy, talking about last night's win for LSU, okay, was it a surprise that LSU won that game? Not really. It was a coin flip game, no doubt about it. But for them to shut out Tennessee with only two pitchers, Ackenhausen for 6 and Cooper for 3, where did that come from?
Well, it was a good day for hefty lefties. You and I are a couple of hefty lefties who couldn't throw a pitch last night if we had to. But, man, you just got to tip your hat to Nate Ackenhausen. By the way, the last time he started a game as a pitcher was at Delgado in a regional tournament. He was pitching for East Oklahoma State Community College or something like that. Joe Sherman put that nugget out last night. I thought that was cool. But you heard the story. Jay Johnson texted him about 9 in the morning to say, "You're starting tonight." He slept in. He didn't see the text till like 11:15, and then he texted Jay Johnson back, said, "I'm going to give you all I got." And then later, Johnson was asked, and he goes, "I can confirm the time lapse that he slept in and didn't respond to Jay for a couple of hours after the text to say that he was starting." But what a performance. Didn't walk anybody, right? I got the numbers in front of me. 93 pitches and 59 of them for strikes. Didn't walk a guy. I think he hit one. But just a performance. He gave it all he had. And, I mean, he battled. He competed. That's a lesson for you youngsters out there. You go out and compete. When you be ready when your name's called, his name got called yesterday morning, and he went out there and he flat out got it done against a Tennessee team that was just coming off their first win in Omaha in 20 years. And they come in there, and it's an elimination game. You throw all this in, the big crowd, the wind blowing in. That helped all pitchers. No question. It knocked 2 home runs down from LSU. That helped pitchers. And then Riley Cooper came in and continued to pound the strikes home with these lefties. And wow. And I guess the silver lining is Ackenhausen might be a pretty big piece of the lineup next year to start the pitching staff next year because he's not draft eligible. So we'll have to see how that goes. But, LSU got it done. I mean, found a way to win against a good Tennessee team. Hey, and they win 5-0 for win number 50. A little numerology for people there. 50-win season. You were a part of 3 of those. LSU's got more than a few 50-win seasons, probably more than anybody in the country. But it was a fun game to watch. It was close for a while, and they got them runs late to kind of give everybody a little breathing room, a little elbow room. And, it was a cool game to watch. And then now you got to turn the page. Now it's all about Wake Forest tonight.
Yeah, a couple of things on the Ackenhausen front. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Please like and share this video. Spread the word about Sports Shorts Daily. Please hit the like button and share it. Okay, Joe Sherman, you mentioned, he'd been talking about Ackenhausen for the last couple of years because he pitched against him in a couple of regionals in back-to-back seasons, or had seen him in the same regional. And so we knew we were getting a good pitcher. And obviously the first month of the season, Ackenhausen was arguably the best, most consistent reliever that LSU had, and would have played an even bigger role for this team and may have ended up being the third starter, Tommy, had he not gotten hurt for a month. Pulled a hamstring. They brought him back a couple of weeks later. He pitched an inning or so. It still hurt. He basically was out about a month in the middle of the year and then ended up a little out of shape. It took him a little while to get going. And he finally, in the last 30 days, has kind of been his old self. but this was a guy who really was good the first 30 days of the year, and then now is really good again the last 30 days of the season. Uh, but to say he was going to go out and go 6 innings and 7 strikeouts and no walks, I didn't think that would necessarily have happened. But how about the umpire last night, Tommy? I I would have paid $100 a game to have that home plate umpire be my umpire when I was in high school or college, because that was a ginormous zone. I mean, all day long he's Ackenhausen and others. I mean, it was consistent on both sides. Pitches are above the belt and they're called strikes, and I'm like, wow, I'm just still not used to that they call strikes at the letters or even near the letters. I mean, they didn't do that for 130 years of the game, and now those pitches are called strikes. It benefited Ackenhausen tremendously yesterday.
They really did. And every year in Omaha, umpires are a topic. Okay, unfortunately, these are not professional umpires. They're going to miss calls, and like we were talking about, all the memes from the game the other night. In a 9-inning game, you can live with the ump missing 4 or 5 calls, but you can't miss 4 or 5 in an inning, and that's what happened the other night. And I know the little box they draw is not 100% accurate, but it's damn close. And fortunately, I'm like you. I'm like, holy. But then there was a lot of pitches that would come in on the knee. The next pitch would come in it looked like the same spot, and they would be different. One would be a ball, one would be a strike. There wasn't a lot of consistency both ways. And even in the game earlier that day, that there was some pitches called that you don't understand why they were called that way. But you can't, if you're a player or coach, coaches can pay attention to umpire. Players can't. They got to go up there and do what they're supposed to do, whether that's pitching or hitting. And you can't let the umpire get in your head, or your chances of being successful are going to go down.
They used to, a few years ago when that box technology came out, they did use the box a little bit at the College World Series, but they quickly got rid of it because they realized there was just too many pitches they were missing, and they didn't want to show up the umpire.
That's why they're not using it.
Right. And so, I am of the belief that probably the college zone needs to be just a little bit wider than the major league zone, right? I'm okay with that. I think everybody's okay with the high school zone being bigger than the college zone being a little bit bigger than the Major League Baseball zone. But it's also an unwritten rule, and it's also a very fine line, Tommy, on what that is, right? I mean, is it 1 ball outside the plate? Is it a half a ball? Is it 2 balls in high school? That's the thing. The rules are the rules, high school, college, and pros, as far as what the strike zone is, but the implementation is different. And it's that unwritten rule that's so difficult to quantify on what does that mean? What does it actually look like?
Yeah, it's unwritten, and you could ask 10 people and get 6, 7, 8 different answers, okay? Or maybe 9 out of 10 would be a different answer. But umpiring will always be a part of baseball. It always has been, but you have to adjust to the umpire. But when the inconsistencies there, like on Monday night, it's just tough on the players. It's tough on the pitcher. If you're a pitcher and you're throwing that ball a ball and a half outside off the plate and the guy's calling it, you're going to keep throwing it there. And if he's calling that ball below the knee, you're going to keep throwing it there. I'm like you though. Them high pitches come in, and the hitters are taught not to swing at that. What did Skip Bourbon say? You swing at balls up here, and you're going to play soccer, something like that. He said. So it's tough. But again, if you're a player, you cannot let that get in your head. If the ump misses a call when you're batting, because look, there were times last night, and I pointed it out to the group I was watching the game with. There was a time when I think it was one of the LSU players was batting, and I think it was Beloso, and the ball looked to be a strike. Okay, that's a strike. You and I both seen a million pitches, and it was called a ball. I says, hey, LSU might have got the good side of the coin flip there, So It does happen both ways, but it's unfortunate that in Omaha they can't have better umpiring.
There were times where the Cooper threw the changeups, they floated up and away, and
4 in a row at one time he threw.
Like wow. All right, but talking about Ackenhausen's changeup. But all right. So the Tigers win a game. They do it in dominant fashion. Beloso 3 hits. Cruz gets the homer. Jordan Thompson is struggling mightily right now. Had an error. He went 0 for 5. He went 0 for 4 with 4 punch outs the day before. he's got, they need to do some damage control there because he plays too crucial a position, shortstop, where he cannot take that bad offense and take it out to the defensive side. He's going to have to shore it up. But today the question mark becomes who's going to pitch. I don't know. It's not going to be Hurd. It's not going to be Floyd. It's not going to be Skeens. It's not going to be Ackenhausen. It's not going to be Cooper. Who's it going to be? And we think Javen Coleman would probably get the ball first, and with the hopes of going 3 innings. I mean, that's what we think. Or Blake Money, maybe same role.
I'm thinking Coleman or Money, or I guess the long shot would be Little.
Yeah, I would probably. Yeah, I mean, what we don't know is what's going on behind the scenes over the last 3 weeks, right? What does Little look like in the pen? What does Coleman look like in the pen? Obviously, those guys haven't thrown in games. So what are they doing in practice? Have they made a move? Do they look a lot better? I would be tempted to go Money behind whoever starts, whether it be Coleman or Little, let's say, because you want to have somebody that can come in who's got experience, who can throw strikes. Whereas if Money goes out there and he gets into trouble and you bring in Little or Coleman, they might not be able to find the zone. So you need that fix, that person that can be a Band-Aid. And I think Money in the middle makes a lot more sense. And I think you roll the dice with Coleman or Little, whoever you think gives you the best chance and is going to throw strikes the most. I would let them go first, Money second, and then from there you got Collins, you've got obviously Coleman or Little behind them. You've got Herring. Maybe they go Herring.
Guidry.
Coach, it's all.
Guidry. Well, and look, here's the thing. You always say like Jay Johnson got plan A, plan B, plan C. He's got plan A to Z tonight. Okay, because if you lose, you're done. You're flying back to Baton Rouge. So, I mean, you got to figure out a way to get 27 outs. Now, the other side of the coin would be score a boatload of runs. I mean, last night you had 2 for a long time, then you got to 5. But if they could somehow get up by 5 or 6 or more runs, then you can play. Then you would approach it differently if you're Jay Johnson.
That doesn't seem like they're going to happen. The offense isn't clicking. They're taking on a Wake Forest team that's rested and has its guns ready to go. I think LSU's going to have to somehow get a magical team pitching performance and win a 4-3 game. I mean, that's what it feels like.
Really? Okay. So you're thinking low scoring. I thought high scoring last night. I missed that.
Yeah, we both did. I mean, I thought it was going to be high scoring either, but I didn't have the weather forecast, which is a typical bad gamble that doesn't look into what's the weather doing? What's the wind doing?
When I saw that wind before the game, I went, okay, I'm not hitting the over tonight.
I should have just immediately hedged my bet and gone the other way with it. But anyway, no, this is one where you don't have any of your top 5 pitchers available. You don't. And you got to somehow win a game with Little, with Guidry, with Herring, with Coleman, with Money, with Collins. You've got to find a way to win that game and have a couple of them pitch out of there, and then you'll take a look at tomorrow and just see what's left. I would imagine Cooper starting on Thursday's an option. I don't think Skeens is an option. I know everyone wants to know if LSU wins today, will Skeens get to tomorrow? I don't feel confident that they're going to win today, Tommy. I just don't. They've got the bottom of the barrel pitching to go against a very good Wake Forest team that's sort of the team of destiny right now. Had a great year. They're fully ready and loaded. But if they do, I don't see a scenario where Jay Johnson's going to throw Paul Skeens tomorrow. Although Skip Bertman would, although P Money 2009 would, I don't see a scenario where he throws tomorrow.
I'm going to agree with you on that. I'd be surprised, that if he threw tomorrow. Now, I think Skeens might say, hey, Coach, I'll do it. But there's too many other layers involved there, the draft next month, et cetera. And do you want to hurt the guy? Or if you win tonight and you can figure out a way to win tomorrow, then you got Skeens on Saturday, fully rested for game 1 of the best of 3 championship series. So, it's why Jay Johnson's making the big bucks. He's got to make a decision. He's got to figure it all out. going forward. Now, now backing it up a little bit, nobody I talked to thought Ackenhausen would be the starter yesterday. So maybe he comes up with a Herring or a Little for today. You put Little out there with a short leash, maybe. I don't know. LSU's going to be the visiting team. That's another factor here. So, they're going to have to bat first, which means they got to get, that last inning done, to win the game if they're in that spot.
I would say, Tommy, that, look, what we're talking about, if LSU can shock the world and they're plus 118, that means you bet $100, you win $118 today. They are an underdog for the second game in their last three, which is just surprising. If LSU were fortunate to win today, what we're talking about with Paul Skeens is not reckless. He would be pitching on 4 days rest, which major league pitchers for decades pitched on 4 days rest. Now they pitch on 5 days rest, but they so it's not like we're pitching on 2 or 3. What Skeens could do tomorrow, potentially, is not reckless at all. And he would you probably would see him still throwing 99 to 100 miles an hour. Now you may a lower pitch count probably, but it wouldn't be reckless. But in this modern era of 2023 with agents and drafts and the way that guys take care of arms differently, I don't see a scenario where he pitches. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we had that debate tomorrow.
Well,
but getting back to LSU for today, Tommy, quick hook. Yes, they're all going to have a quick hook. I mean, like, this is it. If you walk 2 guys in a row, we got to get somebody else in there. Like, we can't let you figure it out. Somebody has to step up. I wouldn't be against Riley Cooper coming back and throwing an inning if need be. Like, Riley Cooper's got a rubber arm. I bet you he's saying he can if they need him to. Like, whatever you got to do to win, you got to do it today.
But it's got to go hand in hand with the offense showing up more. And that's going to be tough against Wake. Wake Forest, LSU had 3 players on the Golden Spikes list when it was, a full list. So did Wake Forest. They had 3. Nobody else had 3. Tom Walter's done a great job with this program for a long time, and now they're kind of peaking, and they're very good. They're a little bit rested, so the challenge is right there in front of LSU. Again, LSU plus $1.18, Wake Forest minus $1.50.
By the way, speaking of baseball, I'll tell you about the Baton Rouge Rougarou Summer College Wood Bat baseball team playing minor league baseball with college players this giant weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 games in a row, all 7 o'clock at night. All of them under the beautiful awning at Pete Goldsby Field under the stadium in the shade. Got a nice breeze when you're up near the top. And we've got the LeBears Lounge party deck where you can buy a ticket at the gate to the game. It comes with a catered LeBears buffet, all you can eat and drink, including cold beer. I mean, it's an unbelievable deal. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We got fireworks thanks to Jerry Lane Enterprises this Friday night. In the 7th inning stretch, we're going to have a 6-minute fireworks show extravaganza during the 7th inning. We're also going to be parading around all the USSSA All-Star teams that are in town for the state Friday before. Lots going on. Mascots, cheeseburger in paradise Saturday, $3 Chris's Specialty Meat Cheeseburgers. We're going to be playing Jimmy Buffett music, wearing Hawaiian shirts at the game. Lots going on. Go to brrougarou.com. We expect giant crowds this weekend.
Looking forward to it. 3 big-time games. Want to see everybody out at Pete Goldsby Field in Baton Rouge. So looking forward to have Patrick Wright with me on the call Friday and Saturday. Jeff Palermo on Sunday. By the way, I was on Tiger Rag Radio with Jeff last night. We had fun talking LSU baseball. It was while the game was on, so I think his wife was the only person listening. But that's all right. We had a good time. I appreciate Jeff having me.
Quick little note, and we'll talk more about it. It's obviously once baseball season's over with. A little over-under action in Vegas, 9.5 wins for LSU football. We saw that last week, starting to get a lot more attention. A lot of the prognosticators think LSU's going to win 10 or 11 games this year. And Major League Baseball talk will be getting done once we get to the All-Star break in July. That's when I kind of turn my attention a lot to LSU. To Major League Baseball, but they're a surprise team. Oakland, I'm trying to think of another team.
Texas Rangers are doing much better than people thought. Oakland, the Giants are on a win streak. And like you said, once we get on the other side of the College World Series, we'll dive a little more into baseball. But then, Ronnie, SEC football media days will be coming up, and then fall camp. I mean, so hey, and look, we got a lot of people watching today. A lot of people have liked and shared this video today. I'm looking at the numbers. We appreciate that, and we really, really need you to keep doing that and blow this thing up for the fall. We've been doing it for many, many years. We've got a lot of great sponsors, and when you like and share this video, that helps the sponsors, it helps Ronnie and I, and it helps all of the people that view and make comments. We got so many people commenting today, people that I haven't seen those names making comments before. So that's great. Like and share this video. That's all you got to do. It's free. All we ask you to do is like and share the video with your friends and with your people, and that'll help us make this thing even bigger and better.
So real quick, before I get back to putting a bow on the College World Series game today, did you see how the Chicago White Sox Texas Rangers game ended yesterday?
Blown call, then they went to replay, and it was still blown. That can't happen.
So it wasn't a blown call. They called him out, then they went to replay and overturned it. I thought he was out. And look, I'm the biggest Chicago White Sox fan in the state of Louisiana. So it was, just so you know, it was a tie ball game. It was 6-6. The White Sox were batting in the bottom of the eighth. They were the home team, obviously, and they had a play at the plate, which would have ended the inning. The home plate umpire called the tag that the catcher tagged the runner trying to score on a base hit to the outfield, called him out. They went to the replay. They showed the replay over and over. It wasn't really conclusive one way or the other, so you just stuck with the plug call on the field, and instead they overturned it, gave them the winning run, and then the White Sox held on in the ninth to win it.
Well, and Major League Baseball said the reason they overdid it is because the catcher, Heim, blocked the plate. He didn't block the plate. That's not disputable. There was a clear path for Andrews to get to the plate with his hand. And in fact, Heim was even behind the plate like you're supposed to do. So I guarantee you Major League Baseball is going to issue a statement today to say they screwed that up and that it shouldn't have been overturned, because to say it's because he blocked the path to the plate is totally false. And no dispute. It's not inconclusive. It's not blurry. He did not block the plate. The video's everywhere for you folks that want to go look at it.
It's unbelievable. And look, Pete Grifol, the manager of the White Sox, is a friend and a guy that I pull for. He's a best friend of Louis Garcia, who we have on the show from time to time. So I'm pulling for the White Sox. I'm glad they won. If anybody's going to have to get the Rangers, have to lose a game, I'm glad they lost to the White Sox. But it was egregious. It was brutal. It was like almost to the point where you want to look up and see if the replay official bet on the White Sox. It was that bad. All right, so get back to the game today. Last thing before we get out of here. All hands on deck. We don't know who's going to pitch. Tommy and I both think probably Coleman or Little to start the game. I think they should go money behind him as a catch-all because he's going to throw more strikes. He's more consistent, because if you go with a starter that, wets the bed and just isn't all over the place, you got to have somebody to come in to fix it. And I think he can do that for them. But I suspect, Tommy, we're going to see 5 different guys today. I think you're going to see 5 different pitchers. Guidry can give you 2, maybe 3. If you need to, he can throw the 8th and the 9th. But I think you're going to go 4 guys before him to get there.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to go 9 in and shut out with 2 guys tonight. Okay, I don't think that will happen. But if it does, it'll be a good problem to have.
Did we get any clarification on what Travinski injured? And he didn't play yesterday, banged up.
And he should have pinch hit. If he could have pinch hit, he would have pinch hit at the end when Milazzo came up. Why is Jared Jones not on the active roster?
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I'm over here in Rougarou land, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame land. I'm not there in Omaha. I'm shocked that LSU's beat writers, their daily, day in and day out writers that are around, don't have all the scoop on what's going on with Jones, what's going on with Neal, what's going on with, because, look, Jay Johnson is the Nick Saban of guarded secrets when it comes to his baseball team, as far as keeping the guy information out and all that. But at this point, just tell us Neal's got a fresh stress fracture of his back.
I thought they said he was out for the year. I thought they said
but what?
Wow,
But what?
Okay.
And why did it take a month and a half and all that? I'm just saying, it's amazing how good of a job they do of keeping secrets and how these LSU reporters that are there day in and day out don't have the scoop or aren't willing to say because, I mean, yeah, I agree. It's like what's going on with Travinsky, what's going on with Jones, what's going on with Neal. But why aren't we transparent if they're out for the year, if they're suspended for a reason? Go ahead and just say. But with Travinsky, he's just banged up. But I was surprised he didn't pinch hit there with Milazzo late. I agree with you, Tommy.
Well, I'm thinking Travinsky or Jones, and then if you hit Jones, but maybe Travinsky can't get behind the plate if he's banged
Well,
up
that's
too bad.
like you wouldn't pinch hit Jones over Travinsky. You'd pinch hit Travinsky because then he stays in and catches. I mean, and Travinsky's the hotter hitter anyway. It's bizarre what's going on. And look, Milazzo, if he's back again today, they got to get production out of him. You got to get the bunts down. They can't have strikeouts. And the same thing with Thompson. Like anything but strikeouts. Let's just move the ball, put pressure on the other team, and hope that they make some mistakes. All right, TK, tell us about Tremonti's as we get out of here.
Got the lunch specials today. It's lasagna. They got boiled crabs. They had a big special on that yesterday. Went really well. Big selection of wine, liquor, everything you need to help watch the LSU game, from bourbon to the Corazon tequila. Big supply of that. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. They're doing a great job here. Jefferson Highway, right down the block from Parkview Baptist Church and School. Connect on Facebook and Instagram. Tremonti's Meat and Seafood.
By the way, we will have 3 or 4 LSU players playing for us as soon as their season's over with the Baton Rouge Rougarou. Let's hope that it's a little bit later rather than.
Would one of them be Dylan Cruz?
No, yes, that's it. Dylan Cruz will be starting in center field for us as soon as their season's over. You heard it here first. We'll be back with Sports Shorts on Friday morning, Sports Shorts Daily. Until then, please like and share, everybody. Have a good one.